There are some questions in life that don't need to be answered, but there's always idiots like me that will come along and answer them anyways. So I set out to see if I could beat Pokemon Legends ZA using only a singular Trubbish. And also, this is a bit of an excuse to gush about how much I love this game, and now that most people have played the main story, I feel good to do so. We create our character Doof, making a return from the Pokemon Y badge quest, and we start our new adventure. I'm already picking up on small details I didn't the first time, like the streamer on my phone is Canary, but Pancham runs off with her bag as we reach our first decision on what Pokemon is going to be my starter. And of course, I run over to pick my starter, but they're not gonna let me pick this one. And I can't pick Pancham either. So I guess for the tutorial, we're just gonna have to stick with Chikorita. Also, going through the tutorial, I purposely lose the first battle to see what happens, and we get some new dialogue, which is pretty neat. But it's great to see AZ again as we get to the hotel, and I try wandering off to catch my Trubbish, my real starter, but I'm forced to do what Urbane wants me to for the foreseeable future. So we catch 5 Pokemon, we talk to Mabel, one of my favorite characters in the game, and we then have to beat the Z Eternal. But eventually, we get to a point where we chat up Emma, and she sends us out on side missions. So I finally get to go pick my real starter, and that's going to be Trubbish.
Still a piece of garbage.
Why Trubbish? Well, this is a bit embarrassing, but my first ever YouTube channel, like 12 years ago, was called The Scrubbish Trubbish. Whatever that means. And I uploaded 2 absolutely painful Let's Plays of Pokemon Ruby before I stopped. So there's some fondness there, but I also just love how when you aim the Pokeball at a Trubbish, it gets so excited that you're about to catch it and that someone wants it. It's incredibly wholesome. And we find 2 Trubbish in an alley. But I'm a shiny hunter first and foremost, so we need to get a shiny Trubbish for this adventure. And we can't bench reset, like we haven't unlocked the ability to do so. So we're just running back and forth, getting in and out of range. And at a full odds of 1 in 4,096, we find this guy like 3 hours into the hunt. Oh! There it is, shiny Trubbish. That is my Trubbish. That's going to be my team member. It took an hour and a half. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And here he is. Oh my god, it's so nice. And we name him Treasure because he's another man's trash, but our treasure. Now, we do the side missions, but by how we beat Sableye with 1 HP and had to pop a potion against Alpha Bunnelby, I knew this playthrough was going to be rough. Trubbish knows Headbutt, Rollout, and luckily Amnesia. The attacking moves are pretty terrible, but Amnesia definitely helps us keep alive in more battles. If we take a look at Trubbish's stats real quick, we aren't exactly working with what I call a heavy hitter, but we scrap our way through the ZA Royale till we reach our promotion match to get to rank X. And we win, but we do so having to use a potion. And I thought about doing the playthrough potionless, but I'm super glad I didn't because you'll see why in the future. It's ill-advised to do on this Trubbish only run. And after all, I just want to beat the game with Trubbish. It's not like a Nuzlocke or anything. But we make our way to the next promo match and we battle Zavi. I'm going to be pronouncing names terribly throughout this whole video, so please get used to it. Don't leave me a bunch of mean comments. And this is a prime example of why I love the writing in this game. He hits us with this line.
X rank really does suit you. I mean, you've got the face that just screams, I love X rank.
And with that, we shatter his dreams by ranking up with only our Trubbish. Between that and the next promo, we talk to Mabel. She carries on Sycamore's tradition as a professor and gives us a Kanto starter. We take Bulbasaur, but it's instantly put in our box because Trubbish is the only Pokemon that we need. And after our rank up match with the restaurant owner, we are now rank V. And this battle was the easiest yet because we learned Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb. Now, the next part is one of my favorite parts in the game. I actually played it during the demo at Worlds. It's just really special for me, and what you do is follow around the legendary Pokemon Zygarde through the most scenic part of Lumiose at night, and people complain about the textures and the assets and that they don't look good, but at the end of the day, this immersion isn't affected by some random window or a blade of grass. This was truly a special moment for me in the game. But off my soapbox, we are given a Mega Ring, which we use in this fight and this fight only, because we are forced to use Lucario to take down Mega Absol, and my treasure Trubbish doesn't Mega Evolve. The next day, we go to find Vinny, and low-key almost get cooked by his Dedenne guards outside, but we eventually meet up with Vinny. And as he's chatting us up, Urbane makes this face, which is the same face I made when we had our first death to the hippo in ZA Royale, but it's the first of many deaths. And we bounce back, acquire our tickets to go fight Vinny, and I love his team between the tough-looking Houndoom and Sharpedo to the Baneri. But most of all, I was shocked when he revealed his Mega Drampa for the first time. Here's the issue though. This thing is a lot stronger than Trubbish, so I plan to just cheese it, use Toxic, and then poison him and run around until he died. But he had Safeguard, so that wasn't an option. So I just did my best kiting, and eventually we got the victory. And now, well-deserved, Doof and her Trubbish shoot up to the rank F. And the first time I played through this, I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to go through all the ranks one at a time. But for stories, pacing, and getting to the trainers that are a lot more interesting faster, I'm glad they did this. It makes a lot of sense. I also decided I need a new outfit, something that really screamed, I only have a single Trubbish on my team. And I think this one did the trick. Now, as we talk to Vinny, there's rogue megas popping up around town and we need to take them on. I already remember this being a bit grindy, but with Trubbish we can't Mega Evolve, so we just spam our plus moves. With that being said, our first fight wasn't that hard since the Pokemon target the trainer and not Trubbish, so it took 15 minutes to beat, and then the Camerupt up next took twice as long to beat that, but there was no really danger of losing, it took a while. Now we get to fight Zygarde, and he kinda kicks our teeth in. But funny enough, I can just poison him, and I can withdraw Trubbish from the fight entirely and just wait for the poison, which I found super funny. But after all that, it leads us to our next promotion match. We get to battle Canary, a big-time streamer, but first we have to go to our meet and greet of sorts, where we have to guess all the answers to her questions. And if you're like me, you just followed around the Lay Epic super fan, and he gets them all right for us. We also see Gwen here, which is kind of cool, not knowing who she is the first time, but now recognizing her. After winning the right to have a promotional match, we arrive at the construction building where we find her grandpa was VTubing as her during the entire contest, which is an insane plot twist, I know. But what's even more insane is Tarragon here is going to be one of the hardest, if not the hardest fight in the entire game. Yeah, you see, he is a ground type trainer. While we can get hit by Hippowdon or Diggersby, we can hopefully poison them and run around using potions until we eventually beat them. But we run into a huge problem with his final Pokemon, Mega Excadrill. You see, this is the ultimate counter for Trubbish. All my poison type moves don't affect him because he's part steel type. Not only that, but his ground moves are super effective, and with his Swords Dance into Dig combo, he starts every fight with a one-hit KO. And I was convinced this was the end of the run. We tried so many things. We tried to use Protect, but you still need to be able to target something when protecting, which I can't do if he uses Dig. If you do it right before he digs, it wears off by the time he hits you. I tried to do the same thing with Endure and ran into the same issue. And I wasn't going to just level up Trubbish to level 100 so he could tank it. I wanted him to level up naturally as I played through the game. So me and Trubbish need to have our own team meeting to think of a solution. And I know there's one out there. Then the idea hit me. Trubbish can learn Substitute. Now, Substitute can't block Dig, but we can attack our own Substitute. So that means right before he uses Dig, we can use Substitute. From there, we can time his Dig and use Protect on our own Substitute. And after you live that attack, you can just run him in circles repeating this trick until his Mega Evolution wore off. From there, I just brute force it until hours of trial and error later, we score a victory.
Let's go, Trubbish!
He was moving! That was disgusting. Holy. And our reward is we get to battle his granddaughter, Canary. And yeah, we beat her no problem. I will say, I love how she cusses us out after she loses, and her little gamer cave is just very funny to me. I'm surprised she gets good audio being around all the construction though. We are now off to help calm some more rogue Mega Evolutions, and I think I decided Lolita is my favorite out of the crew. I'm a huge fan of some of the expressions she makes. And after beating Hawlucha, the last rogue Mega, Treasure grows to level 50, being the only Pokemon eating all the XP. I'm expecting him to hit like level 100 by the end of the game, but we will see. The next promotion match is with Ivor. So we head over to his dojo, and he's looking for Gwen, his sister. I do love this part of the story. Maybe it's because the returning characters are fun for me, but getting to solve a case of the missing sister with Emma was a lot of fun. We did have to catch a Pokemon with Ice Beam though, since Trubbish can't learn it, and I decided to catch an Alpha Abomasnow, and I used Blizzard instead. And I get this unexpected dialogue from Emma that I definitely didn't see the first time around. Now, putting Abomasnow in my box forever, we punch our way to Gwen, and I'm a bit annoyed I can't just pass through the wall because I know the secret at this point.
Let me through. I know it's a fake wall. Let me through, please.
But we examine everything and then pass through, reaching Gwen, and this fight was pretty tricky for Trubbish. Knowing a Dark-type move in Brutal Swing, you'd think this fight would be cake. But she has an unexpected combo I totally forgot about. Her Gourgeist uses Trick or Treat, which this is a move that adds a Ghost type to Trubbish. That means Shadow Ball from Mega Chandelier is always going to one-shot me. We can use Protect, but it's not so easy because you can get caught out using a different move and get knocked out mid-animation. Or simply, you can just have Protect on cooldown. And I wish this had a cool aha moment like the Excadrill fight, but Gourgeist doesn't always use Trick or Treat, so after like 7 times of fighting her, eventually we make it to Chandelure without getting hit by Trick or Treat, so I can protect against Flamethrower and just potion after the other attacks. So we beat her, and then shortly after, we get to battle Ivor. I didn't put together that he was going to have a Mega Phalanx on the first run, but probably should have from the Phalanx bag he was rocking. Either way, this is a super cool character and a very cool Mega Pokemon. But not that hard of a fight for Trubbish, and we rank up to rank D. Now, another character I love is Urbane, but unfortunately, it's kind of crazy that he got into debt with the one gang in town, the Rust Syndicate. And this is a battle in the game I have been absolutely dreading. We make a visit to pay off Urbane's debt, and we go up against Philippe, Corbeau's right-hand man. The issue here is he is a Steel-type trainer, so I can't use Trubbish's best moves like Gunk Shot and Sludge Wave, which have been carrying me up to this point. So we get absolutely bodied by his first Pokemon, Steelix. And looking through my options, I remembered that Trubbish can learn a TM, Mud Shot, which wasn't all that powerful of a move, but it gets the job done against Steel types. The only issue is it doesn't work against his ace, Mega Skarmory. But weirdly enough, the Pokemon you'd think would be really fast is really easy to protect from the drill run, and I could easily wait out the Mega Evolution. From there, I just slap it around until we've won. And we talk about a payment plan for Urbane's loan, which he is making videos with less than 10 views with. Like, come on, man. But back to the Rogue Megas. I thought Mawile would be hard, but these Rogue Megas are actually pretty easy with Trubbish. I haven't died once. They just take absurdly long with Treasure at the helm. But before our last Rogue Mega of this section, Gwen wants a rematch, and it's already not looking pretty. She has the same strategy with the Gourgeist, which right now I'm just realizing how tiny it is. But now her Chandelure has learned Psychic, which after a Calm Mind can pretty much one-shot Trubbish from across the map. We relearn Amnesia to try to survive some of the hits, and eventually, after an hour, we're able to beat her once and for all. And I am so glad I can finally say goodbye to her and her Chandelure. From there, we beat the last rogue Mega. L shows up, and this is where I realized on my first playthrough, this mystery man is no other than Lysander. It took him rehashing his more beautiful world speech to put it together, but I remember having this aha moment. But after that, we run some errands for the Rust Syndicate, which I have to say, I loved the room with the Gengar. This is because there was an old-timey portrait of Professor Lavington in it, which between that and the museum, it really warms my heart how much love they give Legends Arceus in this game. But back to the story, we learn Corbeau's admiration for Lysander, and I really hope that relationship between the two further is explored in the DLC. But with that being said, me and Corbeau 1v2 an unruly civilian, which it felt really good battling with him. I didn't love him on my first playthrough, but I think having a new poison type camaraderie with him, it just makes him one of my favorite characters now. And we make our way back to his office for our promotional match. He has a lot of cool things in his office, like this random Bronzor laying around, and also a gold Pokeball, which makes me yearn for the days of the GS ball being a thing. But this fight is pretty easy for Trubbish. Although Scolipede is one of my new favorite Megas, it is very slow and I can kite it from a range all day. And with that, we rank up to rank C. But he also gives me the TM for Gunk Shot, and he says, all Pokemon should learn it. Well, guess what? All of my Pokemon do know Gunk Shot. At this point in the story, some useful battle items unlock in side missions. I don't want to catch unnecessary Pokemon on my Trubbish Only run, so I don't get the Eviolite from the Catch a Starmie and Join the Starmie cult mission, but we do win a battle to get leftovers, which will cut my potion consumption down drastically. We then meet Laban, and we're invited to participate in a tournament in one of the Fancy Pants hotels. But the issue is we have to get some drip for the party. So the woman who will give us the drip really wants to see one thing, a Mega Evolution. And that Mega Evolution has to secure the last hit in a battle with her. Again, Trubbish doesn't Mega Evolve, so this is a one-time thing where I am forced to use another Pokemon. However, the Absol that I have is only level 30, untouched from when I first got it. So Trubbish's job is to do 99% of the work and then have Absol come in, Mega Evolve, and then Quick Attack for a final blow. But I kid you not, Absol kept getting one shot and it took so much longer than you'd expect in an otherwise forgettable battle. But drip acquired, Absol is tossed back into the box and we head out to the hotel. I felt something this time around I didn't on my first playthrough. Like, I didn't belong in this hotel. Me and Trubbish are from the alleys. We're slinging mud and poison all playthrough. We are definitely out of place in this hotel. But here we meet Jacinth, and while she is a cool character, I was more interested in what she was saying. Like, she had former champion Leon here? Like, who else has she gotten to visit? Cynthia? Steven? Youngster Joey? But also this scene is one that I just grew to love because Urbane is so funny. Answering the phone mid-speech and then just dipping, it's iconic behavior. And because of this, Jacinth crashes our meeting and follows us around while we're doing our Mega Evo cleanup, trying to get us to come back to the tournament. And losing her patience shortly after, we are now trapped in the Jacinth zone. And we have to fight Laban, where we finally are revealed to her real personality, where she's a bit of a psycho but works for Jacinth because she lost a battle. Which is interesting because every other trainer duo that we faced, the one prior to the promotion match, countered them. But here it's in the reverse, where she has dragon types and Jacinth has fairy. And this fight is a little tough. I have trouble with Garchomp. His Earthquake one-shots Trubbish after a Swords Dance, and Garchomp is quick, so it's not too easy to protect. And when I mess up just once, not only do I have to battle Laban again, I have to battle both of her minions beforehand, which is really a pain since one is a Steel-type trainer. But eventually we clear Laban's team, and we are on to Jacinth's tournament. Which, luckily for us, all the trainers we don't want to fight lose before we have to fight them. So we make it to the point where Zygarde crashes the party, and you'd think a ground-type legendary Pokemon would be hard for Trubbish, but I can protect against the land's wrath, and he's pretty slow, so I don't have too much of an issue. And finally, we get to battle Jacinth, which may be the best battle music in the game. But yeah, this is a really easy fight. Trubbish finally gets an amazing matchup, and we win first try. Now, being rank B, we have one more battle till the top rank. We have to go up against the mysterious Grisham, which the first time playing through, I had no idea who he was. The missions leading up were really fun though, because it gave me this X and Y nostalgia trip. Fighting with Emma, who was given Zoroark's Pokemon, which by that she means a bunch of random Pokemon followed by a Mega Malamar, really brought back some fond memories. We then also talked to Mabel, who we learned took a plea deal from the atrocities that Team Flare committed years prior, and honestly, she doesn't seem that remorseful. But with her info, we find Grisham, and he was right in front of us the whole time. We met different people here for coffee multiple times, and I didn't realize how obvious it was that they're Team Flare members, and they take us to Lysander's lab, which is the ultimate throwback between the cage AZ was locked in and the rock from Geosinged. It really reminds me like, hey, we're in Kalos, not just Lumios. And finally, Lysander shows up. We learn that Zygarde saved Lysander all those years ago when the ultimate weapon was set off. We also learn that there's a device in Prism Tower that AZ built, and the key to it is Floette, and we need to stop it with Zygarde's help before it goes rogue. And AZ is like, yeah, I did that. Oopsie, please help. So that's the plan, but first we have to go fight Grisham to get rank A, and this fight wasn't too bad. Tyranitar was tough because he could ice punch us and then that would freeze Trubbish, which led to him one-shotting us with an earthquake. But after a few tries and a lot of potions, we finally reach rank A. And following this, we wake up the next day and the tower is going crazy mode. And since we clearly have no urgency, Urbane and I battle to see who deserves to take the Eternal Floette up to the tower and save the day. And Trubbish is a veteran at this point. We are not losing. He's like Badland Chugs on how he's throwing back these potions. He gunk shots us to victory, and now we are the strongest Mega Evolution trainer, even though we can't Mega Evolve. But Urbane still gets to go with Eternal Floette and ascends the tower Mary Poppins style. He then turns on his video as he saves the world, a true content king. And still on the ground, I look up at the tower and I think how cool a Legends Galar game would be. Think about all the Dynamax Pokemon being this big, but that's besides the point. We're in the part of the game where we have our final team meeting and everyone's invited. Everyone we met throughout our adventure is guiding us through Lumio City, taking on these rogue Mega Pokemon, getting us to Zygarde and the tower. And this ending is one of my favorite in any Pokemon game. It also makes me yearn for a 2v2 format on the online battles, but anyways, Corbo yeets himself into the abyss, and we make it to the top of the tower where Zygarde finally gets to transform into 100% Zygarde, which they make look so amazing in this game. Flowers then sprout from the tower, and as Zygarde does the heavy lifting, we take these things down from below. And I'm not kidding, on my first time through, I had a tough time beating this with my full team of well-trained and well-rounded Pokemon, but it was super easy with Trubbish. He's so small, he pretty much avoids all their attacks, and if I wanted to be a perfectionist, I think I could have beaten this part without using a single potion. But with one last hit, Trubbish's job is done, and Zygarde takes over to save the city. Well, he would save it, but the tower has one last trick up its sleeve, and just then we feel something in our bag. The pebble Zygarde gave us at the start of the game, it's his Megastone. So we Mega Evolve Zygarde to intercept the shot from the tower, and I think this is the prettiest scene in any Pokemon game. I just love this ending. The credits roll, and we did it. We beat Pokemon Legends ZA with a single Trubbish by my side. We say goodbye to AZ once again, but also to this Trubbish Only run. I was tempted to do the post-game with him too, since it's not that crazy long. But while I know most people have finished the main story at this point, I'm not so sure about the post-game content. Anyways, I doubt this will be my last playthrough. This game is just special to me. And speaking of special, Trubbish has cemented itself as one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. We all have our humble beginnings where others might see us as nothing but a piece of trash. But that doesn't mean you can't do something truly great and be the hero of your own journey. So truly, thank you for watching. I can't wait for you to see all the other adventures that I go on in the future. And I'll see you in the next video.